Okay guys, game number 1 in the best of 3 series at the ZOTAC Cup Monthly Final. Now we're already a little bit into the draft, as you can see here. We're currently looking at Lost Crowd 5 versus Team XD. Right now, Tumor Spider Queen is our first map. So we are in the semi-final right now. It's a best of 3 series, and Varian and Samuro are both allowed to play. But, of course, we have the HTC qualifier happening at the weekend, so a lot of the teams haven't really practiced with especially Varian, since he won't be allowed there. We might still see him at some point today if teams think they can get some good use out of him, but especially with the map as Tumor the Spider Queen, of course, it's like the oldies but goldies that you're trying to rely upon. Wave clear. In this case, we have, again, Johanna for wave clear, already as one of the preferred tanks. Also, of course, since ETC and Muradin were both banned out, as you can see with the draft. And we have that focus on Gul'dan. And Gul'dan is incredibly strong, of course. Korvax, thank you very much for this up. And XD is actually playing this with the Malfurion Vala combo. That in itself is something that we see a lot. And as Stitches on top of that, which is a little bit more unusual. I don't want to say that it doesn't get played at all, but it's definitely played a little bit less on this map these days. There was a time when it was like one of the most preferred one, and whoa, Lost Crowd 5 is teasing us with a Cho'Gall. This is a good Cho'Gall map. And Oriel, this would actually be a pretty sweet lineup, to be quite frank. I mean, we have Li Ming Stitches here, we have that Vala. Cho'Gall is definitely an option here for them, no doubt about it. Also, you probably don't really know the two team names, but I can promise you, if you are following the European scene for quite some time, you will definitely recognize a couple of the names on the players that play in here. Lost Crowd number 5, one of the players that you should have seen in a few of the Eastern European teams is, for example, Hydra. So you probably are familiar with him. But let's see if they actually make that lockdown. That would have been absolutely amazing if we would have seen it Gul'dan here, but I think they were maybe a bit afraid of the Stitches. Stitches, of course, with the quick hook gorge, could, for a short duration, limit the opponent's team to 3 heroes, and that can be a problem. So as long as he just gets rid of of Cho'Gall for some time, you have still a 4 versus 3 situation happening, and maybe they didn't want to risk that there. Zul is taken now, though, and that is once again enhancing the wave clear potential that we have on the side of Lost Crowd 5. Zul, Gul'dan, and Johanna, plus of course the sweep of Oriel. So they should be able to get a lot of pressure going during these rotations. Whereas Team XD has still a lot of lockdown. I mean, imagine that Stitches hook hitting Malfurion with a quick root on the ground, and then Li Ming and Vala both saying like, thank you very much for that, boom, and blasting the target away. I could see them actually with a Thrall, Team XD that is, whereas Lost Crowd of course needs a bit more range damage, and they are currently looking at a Fall Stat, which would be a very solid option for them. Also very good disengage potentially with a Mighty Gust. But I could see a Thrall on the side of XD. He would actually serve multiple purposes here. Not only the additional lockdown later on after a hook with a Wolf against the target once Stitches did his job, even the Earthquake, which is after the patch the preferred ult to be taken on Thrall, could be great to make sure that nobody escapes after a hook and that the target is confirmed as a kill. And Thrall, of course, also provides a very good solo laner at the bot lane, which you could use in the early stages of the game to really get things going here. This setup overall is pretty sweet, but I really feel they need something that is more... They need another shield at the front. They need some, like a melee hero. And I actually think that in this lineup, a Thrall would thrive. Again, there's a couple of other options that you have, I suppose, what you can combo off with this, but let's see how they are going to play. A Chen would work at the bot lane as well. Personally, I think that the Thrall would fit that comp a little bit more nicely. The Chen, on the other hand, is also quite powerful and can always, with a barrel, or even just like the Pandas again, go into the back line and disrupt that quite nicely. So Chen, the choice here, by no means bad. Great choice here for them. They have a really nice front line with the Chen Stitches. A little bit more of a preference pick here, I suppose. So yeah, let's jump into game number 1, where we have Lost Crowd number 5 going up against Team XD on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 1 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Here, the ZOTAC Cup Monthly Final. And to the left side in our semi-final game, in our first semi-final match, we have Blake Kidney for Team XD on Vala. We have Boss on Chen, Zadoon on Stitches, Wolves on Li Ming, and Zhuf on Malfurion. To the right side of the map, Hydra on Zul. We're seeing Lichtelo on Johanna, XD on False. It's kind of interesting that we have the player XD on Team Lost Crowd 5 and Team XD facing him. Yellow Flash on Gul'dan and Oriel, played by Kumiko. So yeah, the game is on, and especially that Stitches is of course already adding a pretty interesting flair. And it's a very Christmassy flair as well. I mean, look at that bad boy. Not only is he riding the pig, that's bonus points right there. It's the best mount in the game, hands down, no question about it. Like, if anybody tells you that there's a better mount than the money pig, he has no idea what he's talking about. You should ignore him and delete him from your friends list. But that being said, like, alone him going for the Stitches the Christmas thingy, that's already pretty awesome. That's actually like really nice. So up to the top lane, we're currently, while we're having a bit of a break, a slight trap here. Nothing like too crazy just yet, but there's currently 3 heroes, as you can see. So we have a bit of a setup, attempting to see who's moving to the top lane and maybe going for a quick poke. It's not playing with the Sylvanas or anything, so it's not going to see any like early tower actions or anything like that. When it comes to the talents, by the way, we're having a block on Johanna, going into her reinforce here to make sure that she's able to block some of that auto attack damage that especially Vala, Chen, and also of course Stitches are going to drop out. And with the level 1 talents, we have, at least for now, Corruption. And it's the one talent, well, it's maybe not quite true. It's one of the talents that makes Khaldor a beast. That guy is pretty scary. Also, the Wingman taken on level 1 for Falstad, so we're going to see a more lightning rod-oriented build for him. Stitches getting dangerous already, and actually not taking any damage from Corruption here. Apparently, he just missed that timing on it, didn't he? Let's see, Khaldor, he's already on 4. Yeah, Stitches must have eaten that. I think he just received the heal shortly before that happened. But so far, we have the rotation happening for both the teams. Falstad, on the other hand, flying down, trying to actually go straight for Potipos here. The big bad panda was moving out a little bit too far. NXT and Hydra were attempting to go for an early kill here, putting a lot of pressure on the bot lane. Well done. Now meeting up in the middle. It's a very agile setup that they have here, attempting to go for early kills by smart rotations through the map, opening of course the bot lane up with Falstad blasting the wave away and pressuring Chen, and then trying to create numeric advantage in the mid lane. The hook missing for now. So yeah, it's a very fast-paced game that we're seeing here. The Discord strike is missing, and once again we have Corruption coming into play. 8 stacks already. Very short into the game, but so far both of the teams are actually doing pretty well. The blue team not very impressed though. I mean, we have very smart and pretty cool rotations happening on the side of Lost Crowd 5, but at the same time, as I said, the blue team not impressed at all. A lot of these guys have of course been around for a long time. Hydra is in trouble, and a nice kill confirmed by Li Ming, and guess what? That cool. Falstad nearly turned into a fail stat here. I mean, he tried to fly in to help Zul out. That didn't really work out so well though. Nearly confirmed him as a second kill. And for now, we are still seeing the blue team reign supreme. They're doing quite fairly well here for themselves. We are seeing Vala, as expected, going into the multi-shot build. I mean, you need the wave clear, of course. It works out for you. We have the Cactus also taken at the same time now. And we have a focus on damage with a smash for Stitches himself in that dual tank setup they're currently running. Definitely something that he can get away with. And the rotation is still going strong. So right now, definitely a slight edge that we have for the blue team. They win the rotation at the top and the middle. They're putting a little bit more pressure on, but overall you can see that the red team is definitely here to fight. So Lost Crowd 5 is definitely not going to play a timid, or not going to take a timid stance in the game here. We're having now also Jailers taken for Zul, and I mean Zul himself is still stuck on that bot lane. And by the way, let's talk about this for a moment. Zul at the bot lane is not really where you want him to be. You normally want Zul to be part of the rotation. Of course, he is very good as on a solo lane as well, but normally his strength really lies in being part of a rotation and blasting these waves away. But you need Khaldor in the rotation too, because you're trying to make sure that he gets easy stacking. And then you're all of a sudden left with a situation in which your only other chance would be to put Falstad in the bot lane. Then you don't have the mobility to really fly to the bot lane for maybe a quick kill. So it's a bit of a setup in which they have to make a little bit of a compromise choice here, or decision, and they decided to just like let Hydra rock the bot lane, occasionally run into the middle, see if they can maybe confirm a kill with the Bone Prison, but overall they just prioritize Khaldor a little bit higher so that he can get the stacking going, so that he can complete the quest talent on level 1. So far, so much for the thought process time. Already, you can always like see these roots coming into play. It's basically every time that Stitches throws out a hook, We have Malfurion there immediately throwing down the root, just saying like, yep, if you hit that target, it will be locked down in place, and then Li Ming with their combo can capitalize on that and just blast it away. Of course, with the help of Vala on top of that too. So right now we're having still the bursting light and also the searing light taken. Especially for Auriel, there's of course like a bunch of different strategies how you can play the hero. The talents that we have in Heroes of the Storm make the game so incredibly versatile, and Blizzard is doing a great job with the talent versatility. So as I talk about Auriel, she falls, and not only is she, it's also Yellow Flash that all of a sudden eats dust as he's grinded into the ground. So we have Auriel and Gul'dan dying, allowing the blue team to even pour farther ahead. But Auriel here in this case really focusing quite heavily on the heals. We have oftentimes a bit more of a focus on the sweeping strike, trying to make sure that she's able to just get the additional wave clear in as well. And of course you get some utility with the repositioning talent as well. But right now it's all about the heals here for her, trying to reduce the cooldown a little bit. Oh, good hook against Johanna here once again. But the Iron Skin was still off cooldown, and therefore Lichterloh didn't have a problem escaping. The problem that they have, though, on the other hand, is the Web Weaver wave that is coming to play right now. And also at the top lane, Vala giving XD a little bit of trouble here as he was trying to defend. At the bot lane, it's Hydra versus Portibos that fight that 1 versus 1 standoff. And down in the mid lane, as currently seeing Yellow Flash just draining as much as he can from the Web Weavers away. And only the tower has fallen. Tower and gate are down. They might confirm the second one. But the defense of the red team of Lost Crowd 5 isn't really too bad. So they are doing pretty well with the defense, but the top lane has suffered. And of course level 10 is what it's all about, and with that heavy push at the top lane right now with 4 heroes joining in for the fun. Chen dying at the bot lane though, since the rotation was hitting him. We're now all of a sudden having level 10 just on the horizon, and a 4th even confirmed with the first Web Weaver wave. That's pretty brutal. Storm, Earth and Fire has been taken for the Pandaren Brewmaster. And that is a very solid first wave after all. It looked like a good defense for the red team, but the decision to go for Chen at the bot lane resulted in the end with them losing a bit too much. Vala is taking the experience from the 2 waves. Dune on the Stitches was actually looking to see if he can maybe even go for an additional kill. He did, by the way, not take Gorge here. They don't necessarily have the Gorge set up. They could play with it if they wanted to, but they're not going for any kind of fanatic cheese with like Gorge and let's say Mighty Gust to blow the target away. So they're playing with a good old Putrid Bile here. The Mighty Gust on the opponent's end though, and of course also the Skeletal Mages and a Horrify, which is going to play a huge role for potential isolation. 3 kills against 1 thus far in the game. Juve, Doom and the Kidney still going for these rotations here. Strafe also, by the way, in Vala, and Malfurion going for the Twilight. So at this point, I just want to highlight again real quickly that we have the Lightning Rod built on the side of Falstep with the Static Shield on 4 and going into the Charged Up on level 7. Has become a little bit more popular as of late. Mostly you're still seeing a focus on either Boomerang or the Seasoned Marksman, but this build has started to play a bit of a bigger role now. Nice negate of Strafe in the entire engage. That was a great Mighty Gust that we just saw from XD. Disengaging from this situation was quite important for them. Vala, of course, didn't really get any value out of her ult thanks to that hop of it, so that really helped as well. Basically just like exchanging the cooldowns here and making sure that there was no possible engage. Yellow Flash has 28 stacks, he needs another 12 and then he's going to complete his quest. So Dune is just like throwing out these blinds hook the entire time, trying to see if he gets lucky enough to hit a target there. And with 40 boss at the bot lane, they're just like all waiting for an opportunity to get a kill and a lockdown. And right now, the engage, I mean, I like the setup actually quite a bit that we're having on the side of the blue team. But one of the things that I personally could have definitely seen is a Poison Nova over the Skeleton Mages. Skeleton Mages are absolutely fantastic and they get a lot of value in these fights, but with the engage potential that we have on Triple Panda plus Stitches, I could have seen a Poison Nova as well, especially since Juve of course needs to get kind of close too if he really wants to get value. Oh, we're talking value! The value hook right there! Iron Skin was already on cooldown and therefore a confirmed kill against Johanna as Lichterloh is just picked off. And that is a confirmed second Web Weaver wave if they want it. They can get the turn in here. They have a 5 versus 4 going for themselves right now with Panda jumping deep and trying to scare the opponent away. There's the blue Web Weaver wave. That was great play here on the side of Team XD. They were actually able to get a second Web Weaver wave before the first one is confirmed for the red team. And with that, they will get a fair bit of momentum going for themselves, especially since they can also use level 13 to their advantage now with that push. So they have everything going for themselves. A push set up in the mid lane. Web Weavers going far forward. Top fort already destroyed. Level 13 talents any moment right now. The panel at the bot lane trying to confirm it. Hydra here at the side is actually waiting for a potential flank, but there's the 13, and that could cause the engage that they're waiting for. We are having the 13 talents taken. Gloom, Hydra's there, 26 gems on him. Here comes the Mighty Gust. They're trying to go deep immediately, the Bone Prison, but look at their kill against Vala. Falset is dead though too, and Oriel blown to pieces as Wolves is getting kill after kill off here, going in with his combo, attempting to go for Lichterloh and Hydra, and both of them might fall here. Oh, nice. Einskin comes with cooldown and Johanna moves away, but it's a triple kill confirmed. Either way, Zul is down and they push through the mid lane up to the top. The Web Weaver alone already scratching the towers down at the keep, and in the mid lane this is definitely going to be a confirmed wall. Down to the bottom of the map we're having Web Weavers destroying the fountain and pressuring the fort on top of it. So right now we'll just see them spread around, maybe move down to the bot lane, confirm a little bit more damage, and that's exactly where Living is already headed. Great play on the side of Team XD. They're doing really well here. 7 kills overall against 2. All 3 forts eliminated. They have a 2-level lead. Finally even talents as 13 is picked up by Lost Crowd 5. But they need the turn in, and they will finally get it. The problem is that up to the top lane we still have 2 heroes busy, and that's a bit of a risky move, and they will have to disengage here. In case that you were not aware of this, but once the Web Weavers are actually triggered, once the objective is triggered, all camps on the map disappear from the minimap, and of course like from the real map too. With the one exception, if they have already been started before the objective has been triggered, then they still appear there. So the moment they got the turn in, the red team knew immediately our opponent is currently attacking the boss. And that's why they had to go back. So it was a bit of a greedy move there by Vala and by Chen, trying to be a bit sneaky here. They kind of backfired in that moment, but they are now waiting for level 16. Ideally, they would wait for 16 and then engage into the fight. Roots are already there. Hydra is a little bit low. Lichterloh all the way up at the front, eating a lot of free damage right now. They're starting to jump in. Unstoppable is triggered as the Iron Skin is being used. Portipos goes for the pandas, or should. That already... it's still on cooldown, my bad. Sorry. But we're having them still start energy with level flash. Could there be a root? Vala goes in, eats a lot of corruption damage, but look how low yellow flash is on his cooldown. They're all low! And once again, Li Ming, she wants the kill. It's a 1-for-1. Li Ming is down, so is Oriel though. They're going deep. 60 hit points on yellow flash cooldown. He's able to escape. The Web Weavers at the top lane is still getting value. 16 talents are in, which gives us immediately the mirror ball. Pulverize and Mega Smash even picked up by Zadoon on his Stitches. He's going full smash build here. Stitches want to smash, and we have also now the Tenacious Roots taken from Malfurion, the healer himself. Bot lane pressure, thanks to the wave, another fort is falling. And this is really the moment where the blue team have to ask themselves, well boys, we had a 2-level advantage and then we started to chase in the mid lane instead of defending against the objective, and we didn't really get any value out of it. Cost us 2 forts. Was it really worth it? In case you're still wondering, no. That's the answer to that question. Touch of Honey taken for the increased slow, and another round on top of that now. But with the level 16 talent, it's still not going to give them the advantage that they were hoping for, because any moment now, the red team, Lost Crowd 5, will get the next talent as well. Thunder Strikes also for Falstad, going full Lightning Rod build, makes of course his life also a little bit safer. Chen doesn't have such an easy time to really engage into him and pressure him hard. There's going to be the shield advantage. Lichterloh already talking about shield. Shield Glare coming in for the interrupt. He's eating quite a bit. Eats already the Iron Skin. That's a cooldown for quite some time. Stitches in a bit of trouble. Egg is being dropped once again. Disengage attempt by Mighty Gust on Falstad. Zadoon is low. And the blue team is moving back, especially of course with the help of Stitches, once again utilizing his pure ground, and is still fairly low in hit points, so he needs to be quite careful about his positioning right now. So at this point, Portipos, he wants to go deep. He looks at Gul'dan, you can actually see it, like this is really him just going full tunnel vision. He sees Gul'dan, he's like, must kill. But they get the turn in first, and now they will try and make sure that they push at least the waves out a little bit more so that the Web Weavers get a little bit more value from them. At this point now, we also have the Tailwind reduction with the Air Gust here. We're having the Executioner taken on the side of Zool. Zool are both in 16 as mentioned before, which allows now also the Reservoir of Hope to be stacked up by Oriel. But with Corruption completely used now, we have the Ruinous Affliction taken as well. And this is really like the moment, or like once that you have the quest talent, you get so much more value out of Khaldor. At this point now though, they are heavily engaging onto Stitches, and that is a kill. Nice engage from the side, and the Mighty Gust into the Skeletal Mages, but we have the Pandas on a mission, and the mission is kill Oriel, or kill anything that you can find, and they find Zool and they take him down. Oriel is still very, very low, but no kill confirmed against her. The Web Weavers pushing on all fronts as Lichterloh is low. Blink Kidney goes in for the extra vault damage, goes forward and nearly gets killed himself as Gul'dan was just waiting for him to overstep. To the top lane, Lichterloh tapping the fountain and attempting to make sure that at least the keep is not completely taken apart. And everybody else is already meeting up for a quick move at the boss. Again, we are having Team XD playing a pretty aggressive and pretty risky move. They're trying to blast this one away. They have still the vision, thanks to the waves coming in. Lichterloh is there, trying to take it down. Doesn't double check just yet. Boss is about to be taken. Gul'dan is there. False stat 2. The boss is taken though, and now they are already on the hunt of Lichterloh. He uses Iron Skin. No more chance for him to get away. Yes, Stitches, the hook, the hit, and down goes. No, the Aegis! The Aegis is in, but they still get the kill. Pody Boss is on the move once again. It's the big fat panda. And the Discord strike is just simple. Like he jumps in and Oriel says, no you don't. And just pushes him away. It's just like, not gonna happen. So at this point, once more, 19 versus 17. Still the same talent, but the keep is now. And it's more than the keep, it's also slowly the hope that is leaving the eyes of all 5 players of Lost Crowd 5. Since level 20 is soon gonna be hit by Team XD. And once they have that, they should be able to at least confirm another Web Weaver wave. I mean, right now they are far away from having the amount of gems that they need. They're currently at 27 of 65, so they need to make sure that they kill a few more waves before they can finally rely on another Web Weaver wave and push in with that level 20 advantage. But they should be able to use that advantage still to get more value out of it. I would be shocked to not see at least another keep fall once that they have 20 confirmed and then go to dominate the map a little bit more. Right now, it's a very difficult position that Lost Crowd 5 finds themselves in because they are just really can't do much about this. Gul'dan, by the way, with 44,000 damage. We have Li Ming currently with 50k, taking the lead overall in the game here. Also, Gul'dan still getting a lot of the wave play here. It's one of the reasons why he's such a great hero on this map. Stitches, of course, is going to try and see if he can land another hook. And I want to stress again that Stitches did take Smash Talents completely throughout all talent levels. So he did not go into the fishing hook. He will have to rely on the short hook range, or he could have just like tried to get those hooks in a little bit earlier already as is. The level 20 talent triggered the immediate approach forward though, as you can see here. And especially with the Pandas now having the elemental conduit and also of course now Farfly Quiver, the poke potential for especially Vala is now definitely there. And once the engagement happens, there is going to be, there is hell to be paid. So half a level until the red team hits 20 as well. But as I said, I would be very shocked if they not try to at least go for keep number 2. And they are pushing it in, as you can see. False, dodges the hook. Yellow Flash gets slowed. The strafe is in. Skeletal Mages and also Johanna using her ult. The only one who didn't really is Oriel and Falstad, but this keep will fall. Keep is falling. And they are attempting to get maybe a kill against Lichterloh. 2 Stitches. Hook doesn't seem to have the cooldown ready. Alright, so level 20. They can move back. They still don't have enough gems for another turn-in, but 20 versus 20 is going to be a thing pretty soon. And they're just like, they just ignore the wave. They're just like saying, screw it! And they go for at least the tower. 20 versus 20 is now in the game though, so they should actually be a little bit careful. They're still sieging this up. And I mean, as long as they really bind them to the bot lane, I suppose the rest of the map can push, but they shouldn't really be too greedy here. And they're starting to move back. Let's keep that Horrify also in mind, because an isolation can happen, and they have the potential to blow a target up. Especially since Zul also picked up the Bone Spear now on level 20. That's a bit of added damage that you can just like add to that potential wombo. Also, Falstad in this case is still relying on the F mount. The Dune, of course, waiting to see if he can maybe hook again. Nobody knows really about Lichterloh. Okay, needs to dodge the limiting shots. If Sticious gets another hook here at any point, I mean, this could be game immediately. You get the initial kill, you can try and move in. It's more about the Web Weavers at this point, though. Ah. Unless, of course, that thing happens. Okay, so the slow on this match is actually pretty nice. Lichterloh is trying to flank again. The Dune is really low. And he's going for it. He's actually going in with a Condemn, and he pops his own D way too early. Needs to be a bit careful with this. I mean, I understand the sentiment that he wants to be careful, but dropping the Iron Skin here this early without being pressured was a bit of a problem. Gul'dan way too far out, and in this case, yeah, got hooked out immediately. Oh, the silence is in, and this is the death of Gul'dan, and it's the end of Oriel. It's the end of the red team, to be honest. They're just getting wrecked one after another. Vala is the only victim, and it's a complete team wipe. Yeah, that thing is nice, but the hook is already in, and Lichterloh is going to fall. They take him down, and this is, of course, going to conclude game number 1, as we are seeing the lead for Team XD against Lost Crowd 5 doing very well here. Wolf's already moving in, Podibos, and the Dune with really nice damage also with his slam build here. Just mentioning that, 42,000 actually puts him shortly. Actually ahead of Chen even, so slam build, Stitches, no fishing hook for him. 20 versus 20 talents right now, and the lead on the side of Team XD after the game here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Alrighty, Sky Temple is map number 2, currently Lost Crowd number 5. I know that it's a pun on Moscow 5, but in my head, like Mambo number 5, does that ring a bell here? Anybody familiar with that? Maybe a little bit too old school, I don't know. But yeah, good old Scatman John. That's what kind of I think about when I hear that. So the entire time I'm just like dancing inside. Versus Team XD. We have the lead already, of course, for Team XD at this point. And I mean, we're on Sky Temple right now, so again, the Globals reign supreme, which is why Falstad at Brightwing got picked up by Team XD here. We have Muradin as the first pick, and it's a very similar setup. With ETC banned, you want to go into the Muradin right away. And it's actually kind of surprising that Lost Crowd 5 says, hey, you know what, we're going to ban Muradin out here. Sorry, we're going to ban ETC out. Because they must have known what would happen with Muradin. So apparently they are saying, right away, we are fine with Johanna again. Maybe they're going to rely on something else, but that could be the case. UK Music, big shout out to you, thanks for the sub. Tychus and Malfurion, currently the starting picks on the side of Lost Crowd 5, as we have a Dehaka band out now too. So this is starting to become... I would ban Johanna. Normally, I wouldn't ban a Johanna. That would not really be something that I would think is totally ban-worthy. But right now, I would just simply say, like, you banned ETC, we have Muradin, you have already Dehaka banned out. I mean, what are they going to take? I guess you could take Tyrael. Maybe if you ban Johanna, then you're a little bit afraid of running into something like a Tyrael, Zeratul, Tyrael, plus any kind of melee assassin. It's true. Yeah. I'll take that back. I guess like they might rely on the Johanna again. They seem like a team that favors her, but a Tyrael would also be a great pick for them, so it's not like you can choke them out too well. And Zeratul is a pretty big nuisance since the changes. I mean, he's extremely mobile now. It feels like he's even more mobile than before, especially with the talents shifted around and him having earlier access to mobility talents than he had before. So, yeah, and there is also like the Tyrael now being picked up. Zeratul, definitely not a bad choice here. Just imagine that Zeratul comboing off with a Wailing Arrow, yeah. So, Tychus, Sylvanas, Malfurion, very solid setup here. Also, of course, the early game cheese can again happen where you try to just like take a tower down. Try to go onto one of the lanes. And yeah, Tyrael, a little bit reluctant to confirm it. The only other choice that you have is playing a Johanna. And I'm not sure if that would be the best pick here right now, considering I like the Tyrell pick more. Team XD, on the other hand now, what are they going to go for? So we have Li Ming banned out. What could we still see? And when you talk bot lane, I suppose it could still be the Thrall. We have seen a lot of Thralls, we have seen Earthquakes quite a bit throughout the tournament, especially since, of course, the last patch. But with this now, we could still see a Thrall on the bot lane for them. I mean, you can play them with the Brightwing too and then rotate around later on, but you can also rely on both. The Haka is banned, so 2 globals is all that they can rely for now. We have seen Sky Temple games where you picked up 4 or 5 globals and just like try to completely run with that, including an Abathur. The Zeratul option is also taken away from them. But range damage is still something that they are going to rely upon. So probably going to be another frontliner for them. Either and probably going to be a melee assassin, a Thrall. See maybe like an Alarak. We've seen Carrigans on this map, I suppose. Not 100% certain if that would be the smartest pick, though, against like that Tyrael setup with this potential sanctification. Sylvanas with a Veiling Arrow can shut that down pretty easily. So I guess they need something that is a little more sustainable. But range damage, that could be the Vala again. Could see that for them now. Not really. I mean, you can play a Gul'dania, but for the frontliner Samuro, that's the first. That's the first time that we actually see Samuro. A lot of people have been asking, why hasn't he been picked? I mean, the main reason is that by now he's like more on a balanced level. He's not as strong as he was before, but the biggest reason is that competitive play is always very different from your usual like quick match, team league, or hero league play. So the counterplay against Samuro is stronger there. But for now, we have Samuro already taken. A Vala would work well. Falstad, already a bit of an auto attack hero, has of course that burst too, so they could have had it into a mage instead. Decided in favor of Vala, so they have a very sustained damaged backline that they can use as long as Samuro with his mirror images and everything is going to disrupt the opponent enough, and Muradin of course in the fray to protect them. So Lost Crowd number 5, they have that damage already lined up. A Tyrael alone is probably going to suffer a little bit against this, so we are most likely going to see something at his side to help him out here. Tyrael solo against Samuro plus Muradin seems like something that is a little bit too risky. The only other thing, for a moment, I'm really thinking about if they could maybe like throw something like an Abathur in there if they really want to throw a curveball, but I doubt it. So yes, that makes a lot more sense. Going into the Illidan, could have played with a Thrall, I suppose, but I really like the Illidan choice more than that. Trying to just like drive that fight a little bit and try to also like get into that backline. And that is lockdown. Muradin has of course the attack speed reduction, and we have Brightwing with the polymorph, but Illidan makes sense for this. We could also, by the way, see a Judgment into Wailing Arrow. It's of course not as common as going into the Sanctification, but it's a bit of an old school comp that we can still see if you want to blow up a target. So if you feel confident enough that you have the damage output and you can use that, and that you have the synergy to use it, that you have really like shot calling to use that, it can be great. If a Vala steps out of place, if a Falstad steps out of place for a moment, you can really lock that down. Depends a bit on the Brightwing build as well. A simple cleanse can, of course, ruin a lot of that, but there is potential for us seeing a little bit of a different style here from Lost Crowd number 5 as well. So let's go into Sky Temple. We have currently a lead for Team XD, and let's find out who wins map number 2. Game number 2, everybody, and we have the lead for Team XD. This is the ZOTAC Cup, a semi-final, ZOTAC Cup Monthly Final, semi-final. And to the left side, with a bit more of an aggressive composition right now, Lichterloh on Tyrael for Lost Crowd 5. Kumiko on Malfurion and Hydra on Illidan. XD on Sylvanas, and Yellow Flash is playing Tiger. Split Kidney, on the other hand, to the right side for Team XD is playing Falstad. We have Zdoon on Muradin, and we have finally Samuro in play. Juve on Brightwing and Wolves on Vala. And if you guys played Warcraft 3, then this is really the moment when you're very happy that we have a talent system in Heroes of the Storm and that we don't have actually any kind of items, because, well, especially the Undead and Night Elves amongst you will probably remember how incredibly imbalanced the Blade Master is if he finds a couple of claws of attack and has a nice set of items there. So we have already a couple of mirror images down at the bot lane. Brightwing jumps in as the attempted snipe on a tower starts at the bottom of the map. Samuro himself with an immediate focus on the critical strikes here with the way of the blade taken as the level 1 talent. So a bit of a focus here already on that auto attack damage. And talking damage focus, we have Muradin going straight into his perfect storm on top of that, trying to add a little bit of additional burst to the entire set. Muradin is actually one of the heroes that, I mean, you might always argue that Muradin himself is still a bit too powerful compared to other tanks. You can argue, of course, the other way around, that other tanks should be buffed a little bit to be on the level of Muradin. But one of the things that Blizzard has really done very well with the reworks on him is that now a lot of the talent choices on level 1 are just absolutely fantastic and very situational. And I think this is exactly what they should strive for, and why they are currently doing a pretty decent job. And in this case, we have now the perfect storm taken. But we have seen so many games already where we have seen him with other talent choices, like going straight for the block or for the third wind, to just have that extra sustain, especially, of course, against cooldown base damage heroes on the opponent's team. Brightwing herself, in this case, with a hyper shift. And keep in mind, again, that we are talking about a potential cleanse on level 7 and also a judgment waving arrow choice as an option, at least, for the team in blue. So right now, with level 1 Tyrael, we have Purge Evil. I'm not going for the even in death. The top lane, where Illidan is currently doing his thing, and it will be the battle of the melee assassins. And Potipos with his mirror images and the critical strikes is immediately forcing Illidan back, especially since, of course, he is getting a little bit of assistance here by rotation. False is the only one at the bot lane, trying to get some extra XP. They are behind in experience slightly. And so far, the blue team is at least doing fairly well when it comes to the shrine in mid lane, where Lichterloh is taking a solid position and claiming all of the shots on the temple for now. So yeah, done really well with this. Pyke is rotated down to grab the experience. Yellow Flash and his boys doing quite well to catch all of the XP. Zhuf, on the other hand, at the top lane, gets zoned out Hydra with a nice block. That was close, but they get the kill. XD, on the other hand, he's eliminated, and this is all of a sudden a 1-for-1. Falstad falling makes it 2 kills for Lost Crowd 5. And that was a very cool setup here up to the top. And a very close call, especially with that kill that Illidan confirmed against Brightwing. So 6 versus 5 when it comes to the levels. We are seeing also during all of that at the bot lane, and a really big amount of pressure, including from Yellow Flash. And he's not only starting to drain even more tower ammunition, he took one of them down already. And I guess to the veterans amongst you, I don't really have to explain anymore how big of a deal it is if you can break through that wall before the second temple phase is activated. It doesn't really look like it's going to be the case, since nobody joins him to put additional pressure onto the bot lane. But one of the biggest things about Sky Temple, in case that you're a little bit newer to the game, is that you can always count on the second temple phase being a solo temple, single temple at the bottom of the map. And once that happens, it's all about that fountain here. It's basically the same thing on a lot of maps. We are talking Infernal Shrines, for example. If you can eliminate your opponent's fountain on a map where the objective spawns in the middle of a lane between these two forwards, you will always have an additional sustain over them, because your own fountain is giving you mana and health back. So you can just simply, in the middle of the fight, go back, tap, and go back in again. So losing a fountain is a very big deal in these cases. So if Sylvanas players on this map can help just pushing through a wall and eliminate the fountain before the well, or before the temple starts, you normally win the second round of the objective. And it's one of the reasons why we're seeing this right now happening. They're already trying to go for Zhuf, and they kill Brightwing. They might even get murdered, but he hops out, and now it's all about the fountain here. They're going to get this easily, and they will actually take more than that. With the kill against Brightwing confirmed, they don't have to stop, but that alone would have been a big victory already. So they can even go for the fort, and that of course makes that bottom temple even more powerful, since it's easily going to go to that. Attack is happening here. This dude is going deep. Look at Wolf's Malfurion nearly taking her out. 10 hit points left. Blake Kidney is about to fall. It's a 1-for-1 as Sylvanas is also dead. The end of Samuro, and Muradin is getting slaughtered, shredded to pieces by the minigun of Yellow Flash. That's 6 kills against 2, and this is looking like a different team what we have. Lost Crowd 5, I mean, they might have lost their skill in the last game, but they definitely found it at the beginning of this one. Hydra during all of this was up at the top lane, and he's basically just AFKing top right now. Like, he's playing basically PvE Illidan. He's just going like for the front, like, nah, and takes everyone apart here. Level 7 by now, 10 even, level 7 talents, level 10 even for the opponent. We're talking about Malfurion, we even see him with a mule. Not that they really need it at this point, I mean, they are the ones really crushing it right now. But we have also Samuro again with the Burning Blade on level 7, so going straight for the critical strikes here, and the deflection taking as well. Deflection, absolutely fantastic talent. I think it's one of the best talents on the hero, actually. It's really strong if you are in a sustainable fight and you are really on your target. If you get help from a healer on the back line, this talent is going to really help you to stay alive and have that sustainable. Boss is being attacked, and there's no way for the red team to really contest it. I mean, they can posture around a little bit, but they have to be careful that they don't lose anything here. And even Yellow Flash is dropping Commandeer Odin, making sure that he gets a few of those shots in. But this was basically just them saying, back off. This boss is ours. And they have eliminated every single fort already. This is a complete snowball that we're seeing right now. That kill against Trident in the bot lane when they pushed through with Sylvanas was just not only opening the gate, it opened the entire map to them. And with them not even having to rely on Illidan and him able to destroy the fort at the top lane, they are now in full control. They have level 12 versus level 9. They can just simply go for a keep here. Falstad is attempting to get experience. This is the only thing that he actually can do. They need 10 and they need it fast. So he wants to go for a trade at the fort, which is the right choice in this case, but they are potentially losing a keep here for it. So this is a devastating situation for them. Sanctification is involved. Sonisvala, the Wailing Arrow takes her down. The keep is eliminated and we are only 7 minutes into the game. And guess what? They do not stop. Or do they? They actually move back for now. Mirror images deterring them at this point. We're having Samuro also, of course, not with the Blade Storm here, but instead it is, who would have thought, Kappa, the Illusion Master. And that is actually where a lot of the skill plays, or a lot of the annoying plays that you can make with Samuro really comes into play. So let's see if they can maybe turn this around here, but it's definitely not going to be easy, as you might imagine. With Dune, especially with Merlin dying here. I mean, this is 8 kills against 2. This is a 3-level advantage and level 13 talents already in play. And this is with the Sylvanas. Like, we're talking Sylvanas here. This game is... I see no way how they can actually come back into this. There must be a massive misplay now for this to change the outcome. Not only, they can end the game right now. They are basically eliminating the keep, and if they take both of the temples, it will not only guarantee that the last keep of the game at the top lane falls, but it will already put damage onto the core itself. Pre-10 minutes. It's insane. Hydra is just simply moving away, and this is a total disaster for Team XD. They looked so solid in the last game, but right now there's just... they're complete disarray. Their comp did not work out whatsoever. Sylvanas is adding so much value to any kill that is being gotten. And yeah, they're trying to go for a Hail Mary push at the bot lane, I suppose. They need to win a team fight. If they don't win a fight, like big time now, then they have no chance. There's a Wailing Arrow, it's a little bit of a panic. Muradin is dead, and this is going to be, I mean, this has to be it. This is not only going to be the death of Muradin, they're going to lose everybody else. Wolves is down, Juve is just... no, not even him. Not even him. He tries to get away, but that's 4 kills right here. And they don't even... currently, the biggest problem of Team Lost Crowd 5 is how do we end the game? Do we push for the core? Do we take both of the temples? Do we go for smoke and wait for the boss to come back, take the boss and end with boss? Or like, how are we going to do it? So this is the biggest question that they have to ask themselves here. It's 13 kills against 2, a 4-level disadvantage on the side of Team XD. And yes, Illidan is making sure that with the power of the shots fired, we're going to see the last keep of the game being turned into rubble. Well, at least he's trying to. Here comes the attack, but guess what? Muradin is doing what he does best this game. Muradin is down, blasted into oblivion. Hashtag not even close. Samuro follows. This is just brutal. Oh my god. I mean, currently Team XD is getting spanked so hard they won't be able to sit for a while. Yeah, Illidan even just met us away, says like, yeah, and that's not gonna happen. And now they're just moving in. So, this was a pretty close one. 10 minutes, 10-minute game. Interesting, to say the least. It was a fast one. We get a third game, which is actually something that I'm very grateful for. But it's not quite the match that I expected here in Sky Temple. Seems that Lost Crowd 5 is a lot more confident on this map than they are on Team Spider Group. But yeah, let's see what's going to happen on that third map, because that's what's going to happen next. Lost Crowd 5 versus Team XD, map 3 incoming. last game was kind of fast, so we are back in the draft. And we're on Cursed Hollow, and Lost Crowd 5 says, you know what? Screw globals. They hate globals. And that's why they banned Dehaka. So Dehaka banned out, and that leaves us, yes, you might have guessed, with ETC and Muradin still on the board. So Lost Crowd 5 is guaranteed to get a CC tank if, that's a big if they actually want it. So let's see how XT is actually going to run this. I mean, they got spanked last game. Let's be completely honest here. That really hurt. That probably still hurts. So how are they going to ban things out here? Okay, they go for a ban on Liming, apparently, which is great for Poke. I could have seen bans on like Turiel, Falstad, even Abatha, depending on if they know how Lost Crowd 5 plays. Abatha can be amazing on the map. It's like a lot of to the individual playstyle of a team. But yeah. So, right now we have Liming banned out with damage, which leaves Muradin and also ETC on the board. So Lost Crowd 5 at this point can simply say, hey, okay, we value a hero like, let's say, for example, Falstad highly enough to pick him first. Or they can just say, let's start with the Muradin, play it safe, make sure that we just like get a strong hero right off the bat. Because the danger, of course, is that if you pick anything else, your opponent either picks up both or just simply says, you know what, we're going to ban one out if you get the chance. So they value the Tychus. Tychus basically just says, I dare you to pick ETC Muradin, I have a Tychus, and he's strong against tanks in general, but against the double tank he's going to get extra value. The problem with this is, though, that Tychus isn't really like a hard counter to ETC Muradin. ETC Muradin is incredibly strong when it comes to just like dominating team fights, because they have a huge amount of sustain in those fights, and an incredible amount of control, with stuns locked into stuns, and of course more than that. So if you can be on top of that Tychus, then Tychus alone is not going to be able to deal with this. But XT is going into the Malfurion, so we have an ETC for the slide, Malfurion for the root, and of course they still need someone to drop the damage. Could be even a Jaina pick, depending on how they wanted to shape the rest of the draft. That allowed now Lost Crowd 5 into going into Muradin and Abatha. I mean, I mentioned Abatha a bit earlier, could have even seen a ban on him. Abatha usually trying to just not only split soak, but with Muradin later on, he's an absolute beast if he goes for the symbiote talent on 16 and Muradin decides to spec in to give him the axe so you get more damage out of it. Don't really need to go for that combo, but it is an added benefit if you are lacking damage and you feel like you need to get a little bit more value out of it. Then again, the stun on Muradin is insane. And now finally we're getting... Yes, there we go. Alright. I was talking about Jaina already. Could have even seen a ban on her. To be honest, I personally would have banned Jaina over Sylvanas on this map. But they decided that Sylvanas is a bit scarier for them. Which you can of course respect. I mean, she is quite powerful and gives you momentum. But what we are seeing right now is, first of all, Jaina plus Zeratul, which means Void Prison into Ring of Frost into like, boom, everybody dead. And the more important part is we're going to see that Zeratul. And Zeratul in the last patch got, of course, also a couple of updates. And he is, in the hands of a good player, an absolute disaster. If you watch actually pro streams over the last few days since the patch, you've probably seen a couple of people on Zeratul do work. And I mean work. Just to mention one of them, I mean, if you watched, for example, Eternal play on Zeratul, oh boy, like, that can be pretty painful. And people were just, like, testing the borders a little bit, seeing how far they can actually go with him. So I'm curious to see how Zeratul, what kind of impact he's going to have on the game. Also, who's going to play him. I mean, in the end, it all depends on, on the player, of course. An Alarak-Abatha combo is also not something to frown upon. So Alarak himself has, of course, huge playmaker potential here. But let's see what the last pick is going to be. With this setup, there should be another healer on the board. And we have Malfurion already taken away, so you're basically talking Oriel again. You're talking Brightwing potentially. That could be one of the picks here. And Brightwing Abatha can be nasty, since you can just simply move on to the lane with Brightwing, where there's already one hero. Abatha jumps in, turns it more or less into a 3 versus 1 if you're trying to get those early game kills here. But they are hesitating a lot here. Still end up picking the Brightwing. Okay. I'm not quite... I would be curious to hear what they were thinking about in addition to Brightwing, but Brightwing seemed like a pretty obvious choice. You can go Peekaboo style against Zeratul, you have the mobility on the map, you have that trap that I said with like Abatha Brightwing that you can set up, and he's like Brightwing is solid overall. XD on the other hand, maybe a little bit more damage on top of what they are running already. I mean, if you want to do that, then a Vala, a Falstad could apply here again. Falstad has the mobility, so that wouldn't be too bad. We of course have that ETC in a situation where he is not going to have as much support as he usually does. You can play the same setup also with either a second tank, or you can play it with another more melee assassin based hero. We've been talking Thrall a lot. We have seen quite a fair amount of Thralls, but it is the 4-step pick, or it seems to be like that. And I actually think it's pretty strong here. They also can use that for the disengage with, of course, Mighty Gust. We're talking boss fight still, which is also important. But they could have also played something like... I was thinking Tyrael, but I actually think Tyrael wouldn't really fit the comp well enough to have the effect that they need, and they would probably run really low on the damage here. So if anything, it would probably more have been like a Thrall if we're talking about that frontliner. I'm pretty sure I'm missing like a hero or two here, but I like the 4-step pick. As I said, it was the first choice that I came up with. So that gives a lot of potential of what they can do here. So I'm actually liking quite a lot what they are doing. But the last game was, of course, a bit of a snowball match. But yeah, we get a third map, and that's always awesome. So guys, let's see who is going to advance to the grand final, where the 2Bs determined are already waiting for their opponent. Let's jump straight into Curse Khaldor. The last and final game between the Lost Crowd 5 and Team XD. So first of all, to the left side in our semi-final at the ZOTAC Cup Monthly Final, we have Lichterloh on Muradin. We are seeing Brightwing on Kumiko, Hydra on Abathur, Yellow Flash on Alarak, and XD on Tigers. To the right side of the map, their opponent, Team XD, with Portibos on Zeratul, Blakitni on Falstad, Juf on Malfurion, Zadoon on ETC, and we're having Wolves on Jaina. Last and final game, and this is going to decide the opponent that the 2Bs determine are going to face. And of course, I mentioned Zeratul a little bit. So now on level 1, we have him with a Warple Blade. So already a slight change in the build, in the sense that when we're talking about Zeratul, a lot of his talents got switched a little bit. Like, he has different talents, or talents got moved around on the levels, which allows him for even more mobility earlier on in the game, starting from level 7, of course, also with his Wormhole, which makes those plays, or allows for those plays a lot earlier than before. So that's definitely something that we have to watch out for. Falstad is apparently looking for that shield build again that we've seen before, with the Wingman going into the static charge. We're seeing Block Party, machine gun build so far for Jaina, going with the Winter's Reach here. So pretty much like a lot of the builds that you would expect here to happen. When we're talking Alarak, we're having the applied force here taken for the telekinesis. Is definitely going to be pretty interesting to see how exactly we can make these plays happen. It's one of those huge Playmaker talents. And talking Playmaker talents, Kumiko in the mid lane is taken out. Nearly missed that one. So yeah, that roam that we have with ETC and Jaina is pretty dangerous. All that burst damage after a quick stun. Zeratul and Alarak at the top lane against each other. And besides that, when we're talking talents, we also have to consider that we have pressurized glance taken for Abathur. So already a focus on the symbiote instead of going for potential toxic nest builds, or of going for sometimes even still locust build. We don't see it as often anymore as we did in the past, but it is occasionally still something that Abathur players focus on. Abathur, of course, is going to have a huge impact on the game, since in the early game it should more or less guarantee a bit of an experience lead for you, but at the same time also losing the objective to a certain extent. It's pretty difficult if you only have four bodies in the team fight around the objective, so it's all coming down to whether or not the blue team is able to at least pick one tribute off before level 10 happens, and he has the cooldown has the cooldown and also for the ability itself ready. An early lead in experience now though, just a small one on the side of the red team of Team XD, thanks to that early kill that they got. It's nothing really too crazy, but it's of course adding. We're having now the combo slash taken, which is more or less the follow through version of Zeratul right now. Static shield as expected. Nothing really too crazy on the talents on 4. Zeratul again, we're going to keep close eyes on the build that he's going to use here and also on the setup. The hero is incredibly strong at this point. The Warple Blades alone on level 1 are already fantastic to make big plays happen. The combo slash is focusing it more on a bit of an auto attack build here. And besides that, we are seeing... yeah, nice. Alright, already found out. We are seeing a position... oh! Falstad trying to go for Yellow Flash, and Alarak getting Alaraked. Okay, so that's an easy pickup on tribute number 1, and an easy kill, of course, on top of that too. Not really the game or start that the blue team was hoping for after they got such a snowball happening in the last game. Sky Temple seems to be really a good battleground for them. But here comes ETC, Root lockdown, Blizzard, and ETC is dying. Yeah, I guess that kind of failed a bit. It's not really too bad for them just yet since the... Oh, nice dodge. Really nice dodge by Jaina. It just doesn't matter. That's the problem. So yeah, that kind of backfired slightly. ETC dying wouldn't really have been a big deal, but all the two of them falling apart here, of course, changes things already significantly since it allows a lot more map control this early on. Yellow Flash gets his combo off against Falstad, doesn't really force him back yet or anything, but it gives a slight lead in experience thanks to the double kill now to the blue team, and that alone is of course going to help. And with that, we are having them also going into Chaos Reigns right now. We're having the double cross as well. And yeah, so Alarak, Putty Boss by the way, here with the Wormhole. So Bauble Blades plus Wormhole, both available after level 7. So this is already the time when you can make some really cool plays with them. ETC with a bit more of a damage focus build also, thanks to the Echo Paddle on level 7. Gathering Storm taken, no full focus onto the Static Shield, and oh! That doesn't really work out. We're really starting to, yeah, with the last few kills, it's really looking more and more like maybe the game that was a bit of a problem or a little bit of a throw was the first one, because right now, Lost Crowd 5 is doing a pretty decent job. I guess Lost Cause 5 is what they have to call themselves if they actually like fail to make an impression here. But so far they are doing fairly well. The start was a bit shaky with the 2 deaths against them, but then they get the double kill. They have with Abathar soaking at the top lane. Now still a lot of pressure happening right here. Using the Peekaboo on Brightwing to make sure that they get decent vision. Also have a grasp on where exactly Zeratul is going, so they can just like cause these interrupts. And while the interrupts are happening, they're still soaking Spear at the top. The engage finally happens though, and that is Lichterloh barely getting out, or maybe not. Moonfire. Oh, Putty Boss! Zeratul, there they are, the plays we've been waiting for. Falstad immediately flying down, saying, yep, experience, thank you very much, I'm going to take over. We're having up to the top lane, now also Zeratul clearing the waves. Not really hunting Abathar just yet or anything like that, but he might later on make a play for him. And yeah, that is also tribute number 2. But we have level 9, nearly level 10 on the side of Lost Crowd 5, and that should actually put them into a position where they are able to get their heroic ability just before that tribute is going to become an issue, especially with them taking down structures on the bot lane now. So it's a 3-man rotation. Brightwing, Abathar has been taken out, and Zeratul dies after the kill to the top lane, as you could tell here. Down here, they both just disengage, nobody being killed, but yeah, Zeratul making the play up to the top lane, getting the kill against Abathar, he himself falling on the retreat though, and an earlier level 10 even for Lost Crowd 5. So now the Counter-Strike, we're seeing Avatar plus also a Dragon Laser Drill. These days, Commandeer Odin is getting also more popular, and both of the talents are viable depending on the style that you play here. The Tribute spawning up to the top lane in a bit of a favorable position for the blue team, a little bit farther to the left. And yep, there is already Lichterloh. They're looking at Malfurion. That's a kill that they're not allowed to get. Good route, trying to dodge here. Stormbolt hits though, and the combo, goodbye my friend, he's down. Dropped also the silence, and Abba, oh my god, Zeratul picks the tribute up. Like, they get the kill, they have the 5 versus 4, it's looking good, and in the meantime they're just sneaking behind them and saying like, yeah, well, you get the kill, we get the tribute, it's all good, and the problem is right here. Yes, the top lane is getting pressured, so the blue team might be able to get some value here, but at the same time the bot lane is going to lose a fort. I'm a little bit surprised though that they're not actually trying to defend this. I really feel even without Malfurion they could have tried to posture and maybe force them back, so they're trading fort for fort, and they're not really getting anything out of the curse yet. I'm a little bit blown away by this. Look at Zeratul, by the way. What? Yep. Oh! Close call. Okay, he's basically just saying, well, towers don't work. Let me guess, I can make this happen. Yeah, but he is being hunted right now. And Mighty Gust, Falstad. Team! 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 Alright. Oh, Blinkitney trying to straight up grief Putty Boss here. Zeratul was like, dude, what are you doing? Gust! There's the combo attempt at the top! What is this game? Like, the plays, like, the game is actually, like, more than just Instinct Instinct. Counter-Strike about to be used. Yellow Flash escapes. Murder misses the Storm Bolt against ETC, and Hydra's copy is going to go down. But yeah, let's sum this up for a moment. So we have a kill against Malfurion, followed by a tribute ignored, and a curse against the blue team, which results in nothing but a fort exchange. This is, well, I guess Abathur was killed. But overall, what did that tribute do? Not really a whole lot. A fort got pushed at the top lane because the red team was too scared to defend, and the bot lane got pushed through by Falstad flying down, and already a siege camp that was taken earlier, pushing through it. So that was a little bit weird. Now there is a chance for a stage dive into the boss stun. Not quite, but close. Still the Void Prison. The problem is that Jaina still has a cooldown on the Ring of Frost. So they're just trying to deny the boss here. So guys, this is not necessarily to make a big play and trying to win a team fight. This is basically just like, we are denying you the boss. And that's something that they did. So mission accomplished at this point. But it's a little bit of a weird game for both of those boys. Like, for both of the teams. It's level 13 talents at the same time, and with that we're now also looking at the Shroud of Adun, so you get a bit of a shield if you are for a while, for 5 seconds, in cloak mode, so that helps coming out of stealth. Yeah, there's the play again. Nice, nice. Where's the Ring of Frost? There we have it. The damage push. The ETC goes in. Yellow Flash is so low, and he's about to fall, and he does, but also Malfurion eliminated. Zeratul barely getting out of there. Look at Jaina. Jaina! She's trying, and she fails. Jaina fails, and ETC walks into the drill, but we still have the plays being made by Zeratul here, so it's a 3-for-2 trade, and one tribute is on the ground. We still have a bit of a push in the mid lane that was going on for some time though, but now that Night Camp is taking over. The problem for Podyboss is that he just doesn't have a whole lot of experience. Sorry, a whole lot of hit points. Blake Kidney, yep, gets pushed away, so he is dead. The blue team is looking better and better here. No? They're doing well. They're really doing well, and core is taken. But this could be a boss. Especially with the kill against Falstad. I mean, that's basically taking all of the danger away. So the only reaction that you could possibly go for is try to get the boss yourself. Down here, there's a bit of a push against the keep, but I think someone is going to take care of that fairly soon. It's most likely also going to result in no one contesting the boss at the top lane. So it's basically ending in a trade again, especially with Falstad flying. The mid lane needs to be defended. I actually don't really understand where Blake Kidney is going currently for the top lane. I feel like he could have flown into the mid lane. They might have really been scared that there's a move for their boss, and they might not have been quite sure what's happening if maybe the opponent is trying to invade instead of taking their own boss. So that's the only thing I can come up with. So they take damage, or they like accept damage on the fort in the middle, but they still have the boss pushing through the top lane. So that's going to help a bit. But this one down here at the bottom is going to fall. It's a bit of a weird game. I'm not quite sure if I'm the only one who thinks that right now, but the game is still a little bit odd with the way that it's played. We have also Adrenal Overlord taken. We're seeing now the Soma Transference, so especially heroes like Muradin are going to benefit from that a lot. Alarak, of course, as well, depending on who's going to go for that. A split on all lanes, thanks to the globals. That's what we're seeing with ETC and also with Falstad at the top. Alarak was looking for an opportunity to get a combo off before everyone disappeared through the gate. Didn't really make that happen. Falstad trying to go for a quick bribe, and successful with that. That's a big push through the top lane, by the way. It's a really big push. Someone needs to do something about that fairly soon, and that's Brightwing starting to move in, but I'm not quite sure if that is actually enough. Boss plus also the camp. One taken down, but that's at least gonna take the wall. ETC is moving in. Could have maybe even gone for Yellow Flash here. The problem is they don't have 16. It's a bit of a weird dynamic in this game. Adrenaline boost has been taken and the heavy impact. I mean, Muradin is going to be making plays all game long right now with the stuns that he has. So, yeah, that is going to be a thing. At this point, camps again, and this is a curse tribute, and this could be the worst position right now for the team in red, because it spawns at the exact opposite side of the map. Falstad is also going, yeah, very deep for this one. Flying very deep very early. If there's someone waiting in the bush, then he's toast. But now he has the potential channel. They're not going to get that just yet. Yeah, there's the machine gun build. The Falstad is in a bit of trouble. ETC moving in very much alone. And the disengage But at the bot lane, another camp pushing. Just want to mention that real quick. It's very unlikely to get anything done, but just to make sure. Once again, where's the Void Prison? Where's the Ring of Frost? The combo not going off yet. Silence not used yet, but Jaina already dead. The copy is down. Kumiko takes the tribute. This is cursed. And this is really starting to turn fast against the red team. I mean, we've been talking after the first map about a pretty solid performance by Team XD, but right now it's honestly Lost Crowd has not only dominated the last map, but also made the much better plays overall in this game. So this is looking more and more like the 2Bs will have to face Yellow Flash and his friends. Yeah, stun, and Ice Block, nice dodge. Can Malfurion survive here? Moves away, gets his own heal. Yes, so far so good. There's the silence, Malfurion using it. ETC! Into the ground. Alright, get wrecked, son. That's what just happened. Get wrecked, my friend. Everybody and their mom getting killed here. Everybody except Abathar. Did you see how ETC just really jumped right onto the top of Alarak? Like, he just completely crushed that guy into the ground. He was just like, eat dirt, scumbag. That's what happened there. Boom. Yeah, now they are making a pretty nice comeback attempt, actually. They were starting to get far behind. The kill count at that point was 10 versus 7. Now they are ahead and they make a play for the keep, and they're easily going to get that. So they can get the keep, can move back after that. I would not go for core. You can't be serious. What are you doing? Like, never ever is that gonna work. Like, no way. Alright, Falset is down, and yeah, they are retreating because they realize they can't kill core. No shit. Oh, no! Jaina! Oh, why didn't they just go back? I mean, seriously, kill the keep by all means, but then just move back. They just lost 3 heroes for nothing. Why? What were they thinking? Abathar was still alive and there was like 2 seconds. Why would you even try? I don't get it. That was your card back into the game. You played it well. You killed the first keep. Congratulations. Go back and win the video game. Oh. Okay, so I'm not quite sure exactly about the decision making here on the side of Team XD. The comeback was cool. The fight was actually really nice. Basically what they did, they exploited that Lost Crowd went too deep for a potential kill against Malfurion. With the curse active, they thought they could really just like jump through the gate and go for it. And they went way too deep. Malfurion gets the silence off, and then there's like enough damage with Jaina dropping blizzards and ETC just like jumping straight on the head of Alarak, dropping him. And with Falset coming back to life, they could easily get the kill. So that was really well done. But then going straight for the keep, also great choice. You have 4 heroes down, you get the keep. But how on earth do you think you're actually going to take the core at this point? It's not going to happen. I mean, they must have really got the idea stuck in their head when they were moving forward, okay, we can take the core, and then never realizing that it was already too late. Now they have to deal with the boss at the bot lane. It's going to be a double boss against them. So that call alone is actually, that could loosen the game. Falstad is found out at the top, is trying to fly away. Yeah, dodging once, dodging twice. There's way too many interrupts. So Blakidney is down. Boss wants to steal the tribute, and he can do that. So they're going to get a tribute. That's in the end going to buy them some time. The kill against Falstad is also not a disaster right now. As silly as that may sound, but it basically delayed the boss taken at the top lane, so they can defend one boss after another. They're going to get value here, that's experience. We're seeing Boss trying to see if he can maybe even kill Abathar. Already 1 boss taken. The keep still stands. Guys, we're still looking at a scenario in which like only 1 keep is down in the game, and that's the one on the side of Team Lost Crowd 5. So, yeah, Boss just double-checking. Abathar's all the way back, and now they just have to defend. But the fort in the mid lane has fallen, so it's going to be level 20 versus level 20 any moment. They're definitely going to get that for the defense. So that's not going to be an issue. He moves back, so they can defend here. They could actually save the keep. And then they are still ahead. As silly as that may sound, they will still be ahead if they pick up 20 and save the keep. And of course, like the Lost Crowd boys, Lost Cause boys know that too. That's why they're trying to fight it. There comes the attack straight for EDC. Okay, this got Strikers out. Oh! Oh, the jump! The Brightwing is down. Jaina is dead. All the ults drop. No Fury hit the silence and Juve is eliminated. And yep, that's gonna be game. It looked good for a moment, but this is 3 kills against 1 and the boss is still alive. The keep is gone. They move in, but it's too late. And this will be the game? Maybe not. Yeah, okay, but Zeratul dying, it's over. Zeratul is dead and this has to be it. So yeah, we're actually seeing Lost Crowd 5 moving on to the final. GGs have already been called. Lichter low with Merton is just like working at the course. It's like, I'm a dwarf and I'm doing things. So he's dropping it. GG, well played. A 2-1 victory for Lost Crowd 5 as they move forward to the final to face the 2Bs determined.